Good morning to all.
ஐயோ எனக்கு என்னன்னா மைக் காணவே மாட்டேங்குது.
Good morning to everyone.
காணவே
So, I will tell you the today's objective, and also I will
நான் ஒயிட் ஸ்க்ரீன்
give you the detail for the upcoming rest of the 3 days objective also. So today we are going to discuss about the testing levels and different type of software testing, like functional testing, non-functional testing. What are the different stages and levels are available for software testing? And tomorrow we will be discussing about the introduction part of Selenium and so tomorrow we will be discussing, we will be going to start with the automation concept. What is exactly an automation? What are the different type of automation tools are available, and what exactly Selenium, how Selenium is important, overview objective of Selenium. How to conduct automation testing using Selenium WebDriver. So today we will be going to start with the testing stages. So yesterday we discussed about what is testing, why testing is necessary, what are the different software testing principles, and today we are going to start with the testing stages. So what are the different testing levels are available? So if I want to develop a product, I have a different stage of development life cycle. Same as it is, if I want to conduct the testing, if I want to conduct a manual testing, or if I want to conduct a automation testing, I have a different testing stages. So what are the different testing stages? We have unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and user acceptance testing. This is also called as a testing level, software testing level, or we can also consider as a software testing stages. Unit testing conducted by the developer at the programmer level, where integration testing conducted by the project team or integrating the module, or unit level testing done by the developer. So now the first thing is, what is unit testing and why unit testing is important? Unit testing is done by the developer in the programming level. That means after developing every small set of component, after developing a small piece of component, to make sure that component is working or not, that is verified and validated by the programmer itself, will be called as a unit testing. In unit testing, we are going to check the individual component. If I take an example of one online shopping website, let me take a common functionality, that is login functionality. So login is one of the component. Login is one of the small component or functionality which is basically used to which is basically used to validate the login functionality. So in unit level testing, what I was supposed to do is, I will concentrate only the specific functionality of login, and to make sure whether the login functionality is working as per the client specification or not. Now, what is the reason why we need to go for conducting unit testing? Unit testing is important to verify the defect in the individual component level. It is easy to identify the defects. It is easy to fix the defect. But apart from this particular situations and apart from this particular scenario, what other reason that I need to conduct unit level testing? As I said earlier, there is no product is 100% defect free. whenever we are developing any application, when we are deploying the product into the client location, every product should contain some defects. So what is the reason or how exactly we are releasing the project? As I know that the product should have some defect, then what is the parameter that I am releasing this particular application? So we have something called as a software release metric. If you want to release the product, your product should reach to the specific or certain parameter. If your product meets that particular certain parameter, you can release your application. So there is a first parameter will be called as 100% functionality should be working condition. So what is this 100% functionality? So let me take two different type of testing, functional testing and non-functional testing. I will come to later about non-functional testing. Functional testing, checking the functionality of any developed application. If I take an example of a door or work or office door or home door, the functionality of the door is when we try to open the door should get open. When we try to close the door should be get closed. So that is the functionality. So 100% functionality. So in unit testing, what we will do, we will check every single component, every single features and functionality which is present in the product. So 100% functionality will be get verified and validated in the unit level testing. So that is the reason why unit testing is required. And the unit testing is the responsibility for conducted by the developer. So as a programmer, as a developer, when they are developing an application, after once they develop the product, they will go for conducting a testing with the help of all the unit level test cases. Now this unit testing has been done manual and automation. Nowadays we are not using any manual approach. Instead of that, we have a lot of unit level testing framework. Like Java platform, we have a framework called JUnit framework. For .NET framework, we have a NUnit framework. So these are the different unit level testing framework which will be implemented a different automation tool. With the help of the tool, we can able to conduct a unit level testing. Once every individual functionality, individual components has been verified, the next stage will be integration testing. In integration testing, we are going to validate one or two more components together. So here what I'm going to do is, I'm going to integrate component 1 and component 2. I'm going to integrate the login functionality with another one functionality from the particular product. So what is the main objective for integration testing? Let me take like a login page of the product, home page of the product. Both are different functionality. Both the functionality contain the different features and functionality, working flows and everything. Individually, I have validated both the functionality in the unit level, but still in integration, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to integrate these two components to make sure that this component is compatible with the another component. Because we are not going to release a small or individual components to the client. We are going to release the whole system which contain all these individual components. So first we need to make sure that one component is compatible with another one component. Number two, we are validating the interfaces of the component. For example, when I enter user, correct user ID and correct password, will this product redirect to the appropriate home page of that application or not? When I'm trying to enter the incorrect credential, whether this particular application throw a proper error message or not. So validating the proper and improper interfaces, we are going for the integration testing. The integration testing is conducted by independent testing teams sometimes, and it also possible that it can be conducted by a programmer or developer level. Now, apart from this unit testing and integration testing, we have a third level called system testing, conducted by a project team or by a separate testing team to check the correctness of the system developed against the specification. So system testing is something where we are going to validate the whole system together, or it is used to verify and validate the end-to-end functionality of the product. To check the end-to-end functionality of the product, we are going for the system testing. So in system level, we are going to conduct functional testing, non-functional testing together. We are going to validate all the different features, all the different functionality, all the third-party components, everything together in the system level. So once the system testing is completed, appropriately around 75 to 80% our product is ready to reach to the market. So unit testing, checking individual components to make sure that individual components are working fine. Integration testing is used to validate the interfaces of the component, where one component is working compatibility with another component, and the interfaces between the modules and functionalities are working as per the client requirement. Where system testing is used to check the end-to-end functionality, it is used to check the end-to-end business concept, where all the components, all the interfaces will be get connected, and we are going to validate the whole system together. Unit testing done by the developer, integration testing is done by the developers. Sometimes it is also done by the independent testing team, where system testing is only done by the independent testing team. There is no developer will come to the picture. After completing unit testing, integration and system testing, the last stage will be a user acceptance testing. Final stage, before handing over to the customer, usually carried out by the customer, test cases executed with actual data, generally conducted subset of tests conducted in the system testing. So after once the first 3 levels of testing has been completed, the last stage of testing is user acceptance testing, where the end users are going to validate, or the client is going to validate whether the developed product is working according to the client specification or not. So whatever the initial requirements, initial specifications are given, that everything is working according to the client perspective or not, that will be get verified and validated before the product goes to the production environment. So if you want to validate and verify any developed application, we have to follow this particular methodology. We have to start with the unit testing, we have to go for integration, then system testing, and finally we have to go for the user acceptance testing. So this is also called as a software testing levels, or we can also call it as a different testing stages. So if you want to test any developed application systematically, we have to follow this particular stage. The next one is different type of testing. As I said, we have a different type of testing. We have a functional testing, we have a non-functional testing. So functional testing, checking the functionality of a product. Now, what is non-functional testing? Let me take an example for an ATM machine. When you want to use, like for example, if I want to withdraw some amount from the ATM machine, so what are the different actions, different steps that need to be taken? First, we'll insert the card. Then it will ask the PIN number. We'll enter the PIN number. It will ask the specific service which we want to conduct. I will select like a withdraw option. Then I will select the amount and everything will be done. But when you enter the card, before asking the PIN number, there will be some background process where it will verify the entered card, whether the card is a valid card or not. If yes, it will ask the PIN number. When we enter the PIN number, again it will verify the PIN, whether the entered PIN is correct or not. So that means what happens every time whenever you try to interact with that particular application, like a client server communication, whenever the client it tries to communicate with the server, whenever the client send the request to the server is responding that to the client. How much time the client need to wait to get the response for that particular query? If I'm sending, like for example, x equal to suppose I'm inserting a card, I'm entering the PIN number. So after entering the PIN number, within a fraction of second, it will take some fraction of time to verify the PIN number. So after PIN is verified, then only we will get the proper response. So basically, in non-functional testing, we have a different type of testing comes under non-functional testing. The one of the important thing will be called as a performance testing, where we are going to validate and check the response time for that particular request. Whenever the client submit the request will goes to the server and we are getting the response. To get that response, how much time we need to wait? That is something comes under the performance testing. That is the response time calculation. So we have a lot of non-functional testing. So first thing is comes under the performance. So how much priorities and importance we have to provide for the functional testing. Same importance and same priority we need to provide for the non-functional testing. Apart from this performance testing, we have some other type of testing, that is usability testing. Usability means how appropriate, functional and effective is the interactions between the software and the users. One second. Okay. So usability means how appropriate, functional and effective is the interactions between the software and its users. So most of the time what we will do is whenever we are developing an application, we are actually not noticing about the usability concept, user-friendly concept. You may notice, like whenever you go to any shopping mall, you can see there will be directions will be given, like the exit directions will be given. When you go, like what type of foods are available. So they will just give you a specific names or name board. You can able to see the name boards and everything. So most of the time when we are actually more user friendly with those particular shopping mall, so we won't actually see these particular things. But generally when we are going for some new shopping mall, something new supermarket, so in that case what we will do, we'll actually use those particular guide. So what is the major objective for the particular thing is to make the end user can access the particular environment easiest way. So same principle, same logic. Let me 1 second, sorry, please. Yeah, I'm not able to see you actually. Okay, because I have seen you are not able to, you are not joined still now. You are not joined still now actually. Did you try to join again? So the same logic is also available for the software testing. Whenever we are developing any product, I can give a very simple example for the operating system. We have a Windows operating system, we have a Linux operating system, we have a Mac operating system. Even though comparing Windows, even though if you compare Windows with another two operating system, Linux will have more advanced level of security features, but still people are using Windows operating system. The major reason behind is the user friendly. So whenever we are developing any product, it is also important to notice the usability concept. So usability testing is one of the testing which is comes under non-functional testing. Here we can see few common traits of good user interfaces. Follow the standards and guidelines, consistent, comfortable, correct, useful, easy to understand. So whatever you are developing, whatever the features, whatever the concepts you are implementing on the product, the particular things need to be easy to understand by anyone, any type of users. It's not like this product has been specially designed for this particular people. So what happened? Only that particular type of category people can able to use it, not for other user. So the usability will be reduced. The next thing is smoke testing. So we have some of the important testing. We have something called smoke testing. We have something called as a sanity testing. We have something called as a retesting, a regression testing. So we have smoke testing. Smoke testing is subset of all defined planned test cases that cover the main functionality of a component or system to accelerate that the most crucial functions of a program work, but not bothering with the finer details. Smoke testing is done by the testers before accepting a build for the further testing. So basically, when the smoke testing concepts will come, after once the developer completed the small component, or I can say after once the developer completed the build does not contain any major error, or I can say the build need to be go to the further level of testing. What is mean by the further level of testing? We have a positive testing, we have a negative testing. Positive testing, how the system should work. Negative testing, how the system should not work. So let me take a same example of my ATM. I want to validate the ATM machine is working according to as per the client requirement or not. I have a two different input. One is how the system should work. When I enter ATM card, it should work. How the system should not work. When I enter any other card which is similar to ATM card. Let me take a driving license or a driving license or PAN card, voter ID card. Maybe you feel like why I need to try all this particular option. It is important to know the whether the product is working how it should work and how it should not work. If you remember 10 to 15 years back in India, we launched a 1 rupees coin box, and people can make a call with the help of 1 rupees, as well as we can also make a call with not 1 rupees. There is a coin which is same as it is similar to 1 rupees, but actually that is not a 1 rupees. So what happened? There are two validation. One is the pixel size. Another thing is it really a 1 rupees or not? So same thing, whenever you develop, we are developing a product, we have to validate how the system should work and how the system should not work. It exercises the entire system from end to end. It is not exhaustive, but should be capable of exposing major problems. It ensures the major functionality is working and the build is stable enough for further testing thoroughly. So that means whenever positive testing is fine, then we will be moving to the negative testing. So the positive testing, it is similar to the smoke testing. The next is compatibility and configuration testing. Compatibility, to determine the system operates properly when the software is configured in a required manner. To determine the system operates properly when the hardware is configured in a required manner. So compatibility testing, for example, operating system, for example, browsers. Like I have developed a product, and when I try to run the product, it is working smoothly in Internet Explorer. Let me try to change my browser. Instead of Internet Explorer, I can try with the Mozilla Firefox. I can try with the Chrome. I can try with the Microsoft Edge to make sure how exactly my product is compatible with the different softwares. Let me try to change the operating system, because this is all, the compatibility testing is very much important. Whenever we purchase any product, first of all we will check the configuration and compatibility, because if the specific things are not configured well, if the software is not configured with the basic rules and regulation, our product won't perform as per the client expected manner. So there are n number of non-functional testing. Like for example, we can also consider recovery testing is one of the non-functional testing. Security testing, check the security of the developed application. It is also comes under non-functional testing. Performance testing, under the performance we have a load testing, we have a stress, we have a endurance testing, soak testing. So there are n number of lot of non-functional testings are available, but here as per the time I have just considered the very much important, only I have specified those non-functional type of testing. Apart from this, we have something called as a regression testing, retesting and regression testing. So what is a retesting and a regression testing? After once the application has been developed, it undergoing testing. We are testing the product. We are finding the defects from that application. Once the defect has been identified, the defects will be sent to the development team to remove the defects from the application. Now, once it is goes to the developer side, we will check whether that application as the defect as really fixed by the developer or not. That is called retesting, where checking the defected components again to make sure the defect is really fixed by the developer. If we are getting the defects from login, we got a defect in username and password field, so we will recheck only those two features just to make sure the defect is really fixed by the development team. where we have one more testing called regression testing, checking the defected components as well as undefected components. See, testing is a risk-based activity. By removing something from the product, by adding something, by doing a modification, there is a possibility some new defects might be get introduced. To find out or to check that particular thing, we are going for the regression testing, where I will check the defected components, that is login part, as well as undefected parts, that is the home page of the product. So regression retesting, checking the defected components again, regression testing, checking the defected components and undefected components, that is called regression testing. So up to now we discussed about testing levels, testing stage. We discussed about functional testing, non-functional testing and different type of non-functional testing. So the next thing is automation testing. What is automation testing? Why do we need to go for automation testing? Test automation is the process of designing and implementing a test scripts to automatically execute the test cases with minimum manual intervention. It is an art of simulating the user action with the help of the testing tool. So basically, when we are planning for conducting a testing, there are two ways we can able to make a testing. One is manual testing, one is the automation testing. In manual testing, we'll check by manually. We'll manually write the test cases. We'll go to the application. We'll manually execute the test cases and we'll manually find the defect. Another one method where we will be using a separate third-party automation testing tool. We will give the complete testing instruction to that particular tool, and the tool will follow the particular process, and using the tool, we will conduct the testing. Why we need to go for automation testing? Save manpower, resource, time. One automation tool, one tool can work for n number of manual testers. So if I want to reduce the manpower, I can go for automation. Save time for the execution cycle. I can take very simple example for the save time for automation. Let me take example for cash check counting. If you want to count 1,000 rupees, it is easy. If you want to count 10,000 rupees, yes, it is not much difficult as well as it is not much easiest. If I want to count 1 lakh rupees, if I want to count 10 lakh rupees, yes, of course, it is possible, but it will take much more time to complete my execution. It is possible that manually, if I try, there is a possibility that I can miss some particular things. Possibly some errors can be introduced. At the same time, if I'm trying to use any automation tool to count the cash, it is easy that I can able to count it. Instead of counting by manual, you can able to see in bank they have a cash counting machine. So what happens if I use that machine, I can save my timing. I'm not saying that you cannot, you can use only automation tool. You can use an automation tool to save the time. Repeatable. See, repeatable. The machine, if you try to do the same task again and again, from morning to evening, how much time we are going to use the machine? You can see that much time it will work. For example, ATM. You can insert your card, n number of time, n number of users in a day, they can access the machine and they can get the cash. The machine won't get tired, but if it is goes to a manual, definitely human being will be get tired. So when we are doing a repeatable job, so to overcome that particular problem, we can go for automation. Feeling of completeness of testing. You may notice when you try to deposit like a 5,000 rupees or maybe 1,000 rupees also, some of the time the cashier will manually check those notes, but still the person will put that particular note in the cash machine to make sure the count is right. Why? Because just to make completeness, just to feel, yes, okay, everything is fine. So that means we are completely depend the automation tool, or I can say we are still believe the automation tool that the tool will give the appropriate result. Dependability on resource is reduced. We don't need a lot of resources for doing the particular task, because nowadays most of the automation tool comes with a full set of package which contain all the things, all the additional resource and everything will be inbuilt, which we can able to implement for conducting a automation testing. No falling behind the schedule. That is the main reason why we are going for automation testing. We can finish our testing as per the given time period, or maybe before the time limit. So this all the some reason why we are going for automation testing. Save manpower, save time execution, repeatable, feeling of completeness of testing, dependability of resources get reduced, no falling behind the schedule. Okay, now automation is okay. Why we are going for automation, that is also okay, but we have something when we cannot go for automation testing. That means 100% manual testing is applicable for a project, but 100% automation testing is not applicable for testing. Unstable design. If your application is not stable, if your requirement is not stable, we cannot go for automation. Why? Because we have an open source tool, at the same time we have a commercial tool. Commercial tools, most of the commercial tools are licensed version, which is more costly product. So if the requirements are not clear, we cannot buy the license for the product. Application expected behavior should be known. So when you are clear that what I am going to test, what is the requirement, will this requirement is the complete and correct requirement, then I can go for the automation testing. Inexperienced tester. If the testers are not experienced on that particular platform, they cannot go for automation testing. Maybe you say that I am good in program, but still you are not in, if you are not good in automation testing, you cannot go for automation. Why? Because to use automation testing, to use an automation tool or to use automation tool in our project, only knowing programming skill is not mandatory, because every automation tool will have a different methodology and feature. So until and unless if you don't know how to use that feature, where to use the feature, how to implement the feature, we cannot go for automation testing. Temporary testers. This is it's a common thing, because sometimes what happens, when we don't have enough testers for the project, management will use some general temporary testers. So using those resource, we never go for automation testing. Insufficient time and resource. I can just remove this point because we are going for automation testing is to reduce the time. So that point is not come. So just avoid the last one. So 100% manual testing is applicable, but 100% automation testing is not applicable. So first we discuss what is test automation. Second we discuss what is automation testing. Third we discuss when we cannot go for automation testing. Next we can see the levels of testing, how we can able to conduct the automation testing. There are three different levels we can classify. Level 1, check the system crash, runtime error, memory leakage, and GUI testing. Second level, check for the functional, security, and volume testing. And the third level, check for the business and performance testing. So if you want to conduct an automation testing on any project, so these are the three different levels has been classified. Level number 1, check for the system crash. Make sure the product doesn't have any crashing point. Make sure whether the product have any crashing point or not. For that, we can conduct an automation testing. Runtime error, memory leakage, and GUI testing. Check for the functionality, security, and volume testing. Volume testing is similar to the database concept or database testing. Check for the business and performance testing. So this all something that they or what all the areas you can able to consider automation in your project. You can conduct the automation testing for the GUI part. You can conduct the automation testing for the functional, security, database. You can also check for the business oriented functionality. You can also check for the functionality, performance, and also we have a memory leakage. Memory leakage is completely related with the performance, like memory usage, memory resource utilizations, memory utilization. So all these things. So these all the perspective that you can consider when you are going for the automation testing. Or I can say, if you want to conduct a automation testing for your project, so these all the different areas you can apply your automation testing. Next is selections. Challenges of test automation. If I want to conduct a automation testing in my project, what all the common challenge that I'm going to face? The first common challenge will be a selection of automation tool. Because in a market, we have a different type of automation tool. If I consider for functional testing, I have a different set of tools. If I'm going to consider about the performance, I have a different n number of performance testing, n number of functional testing tools are available. So which tool perfectly fit for my requirement? Which tool perfectly fit for my project? So selecting that appropriate tool. Yesterday we discussed what all the possible reason for getting the defects from that application. We have one point called not selecting the methodology and tool. So if you not selected a proper tool, we cannot complete our testing properly. Second challenge, coverage. How much type of testing, what all the testing I have conducted, how much I have covered, how much functionality I have covered, how much performance I covered. So checking the coverage level is the second challenge. Third is tool training, understanding the, or I can say, skills required to handle that particular tool is the third challenge. Number 4, understanding the testing process. See, if we are going to discuss from tomorrow, we are going to discuss about the Selenium concept. So using the Selenium is a different method, using UFT is a different method, using RFT is a different method. So understanding the testing procedure and process is the next challenge. And the last one will be the compatibility. Will my tool is compatible with my environment? Whether this tool is compatible with some other management tool or not. So that is the next challenge. So whenever we are planning for automation testing, this all the common challenge are faced by the testers. Selection of tool, what tool we need to select, what is the type of coverage, how much testing we have completed, what is the coverage, understanding and knowledge of the tool, testing, understanding the testing process of the selected tool, and the last one will be the compatibility. So today we discussed about levels of testing, type of testing. We discussed about what is automation, why automation testing, when not to automate testing, when and what are the different levels that we can conduct automation testing, and what all the challenges for the automation testing. So tomorrow we are going to discuss about, we will continue about this automation, and we'll start introduction about the Selenium concepts. And next upcoming days, I will show you how we can able to execute a test cases using a Selenium WebDriver. That I will show you a complete practical demo. Okay, so there is a question about the regression testing. So regression testing is something after once you completed the testing, we will send the application defects to the development team. So after developers fix the defect, we will check the we will recheck the defected test cases, and we will check the already passed test cases again to make sure the defect has not introduced any new defects. Or I can say, whenever some changes comes to the product, like you are added some new functionality on the application, or you removed some previous functionality from that application, so we will be going for the regression testing. So regression testing means most of the time checking the whole system together to make sure the product does not contain any errors. That is called regression testing. Checking defected part as well as undefected parts. So thank you so much for today. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. And tomorrow we will be discussing about, I will ask your specific contact person to share the PPTs. So tomorrow we will be continuing with automation, and I will start with the Selenium introduction part. And next upcoming days, we will be seeing the practical demo, how we can able to create and execute the test cases using Selenium WebDriver.